What's up, divine souls? Welcome back to my channel. It's Loretta, the Infinite Healer, and you are now tuned into Infinite Healing. How y'all doing? I hope you all are having an amazing day, an amazing night, wherever you are when you're watching this. I hope that you are in amazing and beautiful, delightful energy when you come across this video. And if you are not, it is my prayer that by the time you leave here, you are. Today we are here for the pink full moon in Libra reading. I have my notes. I think I may do it by the elements. We'll see. If you're new to this channel, hello, and welcome. And if you have been with the channel, I want to say gratitude for rocking with me this whole time, y'all, especially after I've been on an extensive break. So let's pray and then jump into the reading. I want to remind you that these readings are based on present energy, like today's energy, that you are the magician of your own life and you are the center of your own universe. So anything that is not resonating with you in the reading, please do not take it as if it is a final message. Know that you have control and you can shift that will, turn that will when need be. Yeah. So use your own personal discernment during this reading because it is a collective reading. So everything may not be for you. Pray for discernment. But I'm going to pray to bless this space, okay? Divine Holy Spirit, angels, ancestors, and guides of the highest white light, gratitude for bringing your collective and I together again for the opportunity to receive your divinely guided messages. I thank you so much, Divine Holy Spirit, for entrusting me and using me as a pillar of light to communicate with all those in need, including myself. We thank you for this divine space. We thank you for your divine presence. We thank you for your divine protection and your infinite love. Thank you for bringing all things to our awareness. Thank you for closing out old cycles and removing thought patterns, behaviors, ways, people, places, and things, energies that do not serve us. We thank you for allowing us to see and giving us free will, Divine Holy Spirit. We ask that you anoint this space and deliver all messages that the collective is in need of at this time. In your great name we pray and we say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Excuse me. All right, let's get into the reading. Ooh, actually, I'm going to start with the Moonology deck. So let's start with the overall energy for this full moon in Libra. And, okay, I don't think I'm going to keep y'all long. It should be very straightforward, actually. We'll see. Let's do one more. Alright, Spirit, we are looking for the overall collective energy for this full moon in Libra. We have full moon in Virgo, you are enough. Alright, there we go. Full moon in Virgo, you are enough. We have your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. And I'm going to pull all of the cards. No, I'm not, because Spirit has something to say. With this, you are enough and your dreams need a practical plan. These are two earth sign energies. And one of the notes that I took for Libra, it was talking about Libra teaches us that it's okay to not always feel centered. And when we feel unbalanced, it's important to recognize these feelings and take appropriate action. So with the, let's see if that's better. So with the full moon in Libra in this you are good enough, Spirit, this is all coming from your heart space, okay? This is coming from where your heart is guiding you. And so listening to your heart, allowing your heart to guide you through this process. And this may mean that you've been in a lot of logical and analytical energy with this Virgo and Taurus card. It may even be so you have been overthinking things a bit too much, even when it comes to your practical plan. Because for some of you, especially if you have Virgo in your chart, I feel like have created this practical plan, but what is actually a blockage to this practical plan is your own ego. It is yourself. Like, you are standing in the way, because you may make a plan and say, okay, for one day out of the week, I'm going to eat healthy. And then on that day that you're supposed to eat healthy, you stressed ate because you were so anxious about making sure that you were making the right choices that day, that you actually didn't make any right choices because you were so stressed that you weren't going to make any of the right choices. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because this is the same energy that I'm getting here. It's like, God could say to you, I want you to start a YouTube channel, and on your YouTube channel, I want you to teach people math, right? But then you got caught up in like where do I start? Where do I begin? And Spirit is saying, I want you to start anywhere. I want you to start from somewhere, and not to overthink it. Okay, let's see. What other energies? Nothing will come of this situation. Void of course, moon. Ooh, this feels like the shadow aspect of it. But let's see. Can I have one? Just one, please. Look, full moon in Libra, a win-win outcome is forecast. I saw a card peeking, but let's get one more scared. Have faith in your dreams. See, this stagnant energy, and then underneath the bottom of the deck is the end of a tough cycle approaches full moon in Capricorn. On the light aspect of things, on the lighter side of things, Spirit wants you to build your confidence in knowing that you are capable of manifesting the dreams with an S that you have. And Spirit wants you to remain faithful. Honestly, for some of you, your shadow is even faithful to the dream. Like, if you had set a dream that you would be free of depression, if you set a dream that you would overcome your sexual trauma and you would regain your power back, if you have set a dream that you would allow yourself to be seen, to be heard, and to shine your light brightly, to be a lighthouse for yourself and for the world. Spirit wants you to continue to strive towards that dream. The nothing will come of this situation. Those are like, you see how this empty abyss is here? I'm feeling this empty abyss as being like all of the darkness that surrounds your dream. So these could be like internalized thoughts that, hey Sierra, how you doing? Capricorn Moon Goddess, it's so good to see you. Your own thoughts. I just heard the word enemies. Like, okay, relax, please. Okay, y'all, it just got really weird, and I'm sorry, but because I just saw like Star Trek happen in my head, where you're like, let's say you're traveling to the moon, but there are others behind you, kind of like shooting you down, or trying to shoot you down anyway. Spirit wants you to know that they will not be victorious. So if you're feeling like there are energies around you who are attacking you, whether that be physically or spiritually, it's not gonna prosper. It's just not gonna happen. Period. It's just not gonna happen. And even when we're speaking to your own shadow and the way in which you downgrade yourself, or the way you underplay yourself, and how it's trying to hold you back because of where you are used to being. Spirit wants you to know that it's not gonna stay like that. Your own shadow can't bring you down. You know how they say, like, my biggest enemy was me, and that's the truth. For some of you, this is a very important time because you're finally coming to the realization that there has never been an enemy, that it's always been you. Now that's okay. She said, I'm about to set off the wrath of God on some people. Girl, release. Look, they got okay, I'm about to start reading Psalms 91. I didn't even hold on, wait a minute. You think I'm bullshitting? I'm not. Because literally, I was sitting listening to music, and Psalms 91 came to me. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadows of the Almighty. And because you dwell in the shelter of the Most High, you are protected. If you say, the Lord is my refuge, and you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you. No disaster will come near your tent. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways, that will help lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against the stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra. You will temple the great lion and the serpent, because he loves you. Okay? Because you are loved divinely by the Most High God. It's not going to happen. Period. But I say that even against yourself, even against your own shots that you may take at yourself, whether that be low self-esteem, addictional thoughts. I don't know if that's how you would say it. But I'm really getting like this, like, you aren't enough energy, where that's the shadow aspect, and you're moving more into knowing that you can do it, and just finding practical ways of how you can do it. Like, maybe you actually do need to schedule in your self-care, because if you don't, you know that it kind of goes out the window. Or just setting, even if you're like, I want to make it a daily habit, please know that it doesn't have to be all day. If you're like, especially if you've never done this before, just set out 5 minutes. Just set a timer for 3 minutes. Like, for 5 minutes, I'm just going to sit in silence. For 5 minutes, I'm just going to draw whatever. I have my pen and my paper. For 5 minutes, I'm going to enjoy a really good song, and I'm really going to vibe to it. I'm going to dance to it. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to listen to comedy for 5 minutes, because I need to shift up my energy. But Spirit is saying that in order for you to build up this strength, in order for you to build up this confidence, that a practical plan is needed. Yeah, you can kind of just go like running throughout space, but that's not going to do anything. And yes, of course, please rely on the divine protection of the Most High God, but also know how can you help yourself, because the Most High wants you to know that everything that you need, all the tools that you need to be successful and for your dreams to become a reality, you have them in your possession. And some of you are looking at your tools and just not knowing what to do. And so just literally ask your team, how do I use this tool? If you have gotten into tarot, please do not get into tarot if Spirit has not guided you there. Okay, but getting in, I would honestly suggest that you start with oracle cards before you start with tarot cards. That's just the infinite healer's personal preference for those stepping into it. Some people are just called into mediumship because it's just who they are. But what Spirit is letting me know is that things are very trendy, and so we like to do what others like to do as a collective. We like to follow, in the herd, but Spirit wants you to know that you are a unique being, and so you're going to follow your own path. Yeah. All right, so let's ask some of these questions and get into it. Let's get into it. I'm trying to think, what tarot do I want to use for this? The good tarot. The good tarot. If you know me, y'all know I say it. It's always something if my spirit team starts singing. You know, at that point, the infinite healer is about to disappear. And they gonna step in. You think I'm weird? Just go ahead, get up off of here. Hi, JoJo. I love you. How you doing, girl? So, Spirit, at this time, what areas of life does the collective need to focus on at this time? Where is it that you are trying to bring more awareness into their life? What areas do they need to focus on at this time, especially during this full moon in Libra? And we're going to do one more, y'all, because I didn't like that shuffle. A lot of you are transforming in the area of masculinity, like your masculine energy. So your will, your drive, your purpose, your passions, how you work hard, like your work ethic for yourself, and how you help others. All right, let's do one more. All right, so what areas of life does the collective need to focus on at this time? You don't like that? No? Okay. That's better. Can I just have one? I'm going to use one and then the other to clarify. So, I was just talking about the Emperor, and then look who decides to show their face. Y'all, that's balanced energy. With the full moon in Libra, that's that balancing of energy. So you're balancing out, yes, with the 3, you're balancing out your masculine and feminine energy. You're balancing out your will to do with your ability to create. You are balancing the logical mind with the creative mind. This is wonderful because where you may have been either doing one or the other, you're learning to have them both coexist at the same time. And this, I just heard optimum increase. So this is like and I'm seeing like somebody being charged up, like a battery charging up. So these two energies coming together and working collectively is giving you like this new power surge to kind of hit the ground running and then start going. This is done in a way in which you are very aware of yourself and others, where you are creatively and intuitively connected to yourself and others. And that's what makes it a really, even more powerful. There's like this union, and there's also this celebration that is happening during this time as well. Like your spirit, and I really do want you to give yourself credit for this. If you're not giving yourself credit for this, please take a moment and do so. But your spirit is very pleased and very satisfied with all of the hard work that you have done. Spirit wants you to know that you are always in alignment with Source and that everything is always working out for you. And clarifying the Empress, we have the 8 of Earth, the coins. And 8 of Earth speaks about working together, union, hard work, leading to a fruitful manifestation. The collaboration between the masculine and feminine energies with this full moon in Libra is going to result in your dreams coming true, is going to result, and I don't care, I'm banking on it, and it's going to result in your dreams becoming a reality, because it's like these two things are coming together, because this is like feminine energy and masculine energy coming together to create the dream and make it a reality. Your self-worth and the way you see yourself, the way you feel about yourself, as well as the practical way in which you continue to grow throughout this season. That's so dope, Spirit. I like it. I like it. What emotions does the collective need to... Okay, I forgot you don't like the phone. What emotions there's the Emperor. I love when the energies come up, especially when it's the energy of self, because you may be feeling more whole than you normally have over the past months. Like you may have been feeling like something was missing or something was out of place, but with this spring season, this first moon of the spring season, excuse me, you probably are feeling your energy come back to you, especially if you've been doing like pulling back your power, if you've been doing any cord cleansing with anyone during this time. Please know that that energy is definitely being cleared and illuminated with this full moon. So what emotions do they need to release? Ace of Air. I'm gonna be very honest with you. One of the things that you need to release at this time, collective, is doubt. Like, you need to release fear. If you think about, unicorns are very magical beings. They're very high vibrational beings because they can fly. They can shoot these the way in which we've seen them on TV, right? Shoot powers from their third eye, right? Their horn. It's almost like their wand. They've learned to master the energy inside of them and direct them with intention to one source. So one of the things is an area of focus that you need to, like, release distractions. Thank you, Spirit. One of the things that you are releasing right now during this season is distractions. So that you kind of have like this tunnel vision of focusing on where it is that you want to go. And Spirit wants me to be very clear that you're not trying to do everything all at once, that it's one thing at a time or one step at a time. So if you're going to focus on your finances, just focus on your finances. Like, if you've noticed you've been distracted in your finances, if you know that you've been distracted from work or distracted from love, because for someone, this is like, I don't know, you've been allowing your friends to distract you from your relationship, and now your mate, especially, I don't know if you're from Australia, this may be really resonating with you, but this is distracting you from your mate, and your mate is feeling like rather lonely because they're feeling like you're giving all of that, I was going to say good loving, but that's not what they mean, but all that good energy to others, and then when you come home, they kind of feel like they're left with kind of like how you feel, how you're tired. They're left with that version of yourself. Another area to focus on is communication. And so this is communication with your higher self. So this is spending more time meditating, communication with your guides as well. But then communication here, right, with others, speaking your truth, allowing yourself like to be heard and to be seen, and to not run away from your fears. Like, if you have a fear of speaking in public, and for someone, you have a fear of speaking in public, but one of the things you are meant to do is speak to the public. So that's why Spirit is challenging you during this time to overcome that fear. And for others of you who, this really depends on where you are, because clearly there are so many things that people are releasing, so take what resonates to you. For another being, this is like high priestess energy, magician energy. Releasing the fears that you aren't good enough, releasing the fears that you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know how you're doing it, and allowing yourself to be guided by the Most High God. That is really important during this time. Spirit wants you to trust in your craft, if you call it that, or your practices, if that's what you call it, your divinations. But Spirit wants you to trust in who you are. Channeled message: we know for a long time that you have been forced to hide yourself, especially if you are this magical unicorn. You've been forced to live in a society and to live in a world where you were not accepted for who you are. And Spirit wants you to know that you can finally come out. And it's almost as if you, like, this unicorn had to disguise itself as a horse for so long that now that it always felt like, even though they were a unicorn disguised as a horse, when they were walking around, they felt like people are like all knew who they were. They felt like they were being judged. But this was a lot of internal factors. Spirit wants you to be free, because you were very much well liked even in your disguise, right? You were very much well liked, and well perceived. And with you shedding skin, kind of like a snake, you will be even more captivating and radiating, and because you can now truly shine as yourself. So Spirit wants you to be confident. This message is for a masculine. Spirit wants you to be confident in your sexuality, and Spirit wants you to be confident in what you were blessed with downstairs. You have what you have. It's going to be what it's going to be. And so know that that is a part of you. You know, a lot of people think that men don't suffer with body images, but the truth is that the opposite sex, and I'm speaking about women, can be very cruel when it comes to, and I'm just going to be frank, so you should be 18 or older, when it comes to the penis, right? When it comes to the wand of a masculine, if it does... Spirit, why are you having me have this conversation? Okay. But yeah, so society has said that the masculine's wand is supposed to be this size and this big, and it's supposed to look like this, but this masculine I'm feeling is feeling very like beat down by the world, because it's like everyone they laid with like talked about them so dirty. It's so messed up, because you were good enough to sleep with but not good enough to keep. That's at least how this energy is feeling during this time. Good enough to sleep with but not good enough to keep. And it has played a huge role on your mental, and that's why clearing out time and like that 5 minutes of daily meditation will be so good for you, communicating with yourself and communicating with your guides during this time. I'm going to stop touching this card because that masculine's energy is very heavy. So those are the things that you need to release when we're speaking of emotions. And then, Spirit, what do you want the collective to know this full moon going forward? What's the best advice for the collective during this time? Also, if you have not gone and looked at my Instagram video, I did an Instagram as a preview to this reading to kind of talk about some of the information that I gathered. And then I shared it on on Instagram. I'm also going to share the journal activity one more time there, but the journal activity is also on Instagram. So best advice during this time is messenger of earth. So there's a lot of earth energy here, which is weird because I thought there would have been a lot of air. And then we have I love that this card is at the bottom of the deck, underlying all energies, because it's the Wheel of Fortune. And I guess I'm skipping over the Messenger of Earth really quickly to talk about the Wheel of Fortune. But with the Wheel of Fortune, Spirit wants you to know that for some of you, you have completed a karmic cycle. Or there's just been some type of completion. I don't even want to say it was so much karmic, because it didn't have to be. But there was, over the past year, over the past 10 months, over the past 10 weeks, over the past 10 days, you have done a lot of healing when it comes to your emotional well-being, when it comes to your mental state, when it comes to your physical healing, whatever it is that you have been personally healing in your life. Spirit wants you to know that there is a cycle that has closed out. For some of you, if this had been with a toxic relationship, for some of you, this is a mother-daughter relationship. For others of you, this is for some of you, this is a platonic relationship that you have had with someone. over the past 10 months. But others of you, this is a romantic relationship. And it doesn't even have to mean that you have been with this person over the last year. It just means that that cycle has finally closed out. Like, for example, let's say, I'll use myself as an example. I had twins, and I carried the energy of my twins' dad for a very long time because I didn't know how to really release him. I also didn't feel very confident in releasing him. I had my kids in 2012. I probably released that energy 2 years ago. So that cycle is just closed out, especially if you're a woman. That energy in your womb, if you've been praying or if you've been actively working on womb healing, especially if it was in regards to a certain energy or a certain person, that energy has been cleared out. What I'm really seeing is, if you've been to the OBGYN, how they will like scrape the uterus wall. I'm really seeing that is happening, or that has happened, that there has been this healing in the uterus. And this is also why, for some of you, you may find that in a time period where you were not fertile, now you are abundantly fertile. And this is coming to when we're talking about physically, as like having, what's up, Nora? We're talking about physically having children, or if we're just talking about being able to manifest, because everybody has the ability to manifest things into their life, but depending on the energy in which they're in, that determines how quickly that manifestation will come into your life. And so for a lot of you, if you've been trying to call in new relationships and new partnerships with people and new connections, and you didn't want them to be tied to the old energy of being toxic or harmful to you or to your environment, that cycle is closed out because you've recognized that yourself, that you are good enough. You've recognized within yourself what energy was keeping you connected to those people, or you are recognizing. And so that cycle has closed or is closing out with this full moon in Libra. So let's talk about your best advice, and then I'm going to let y'all go. Okay. Your best advice moving forward for this full moon in Libra is to listen. It is literally to listen to your body, to listen to your spirit, and to listen to the source in which you call the Most High God. It is to actually take that time and be grounded in yourself. And for some of you, Spirit really wants you to just sit in the energy of trusting in a higher power and trusting outside of yourself. And this is going to be like trusting inside of yourself because you are the being. And so you will have to sit with yourself. But this is also trusting outside of yourself, because over the course of your years or throughout time in your life, one area that has been broken is trust. And because trust has been broken in your life, the lines of communication, right, with your higher self, with yourself, with your guides, with people around you have been broken. And so Spirit is healing that through that trusting. Not only that, but because you haven't been able to trust yourself or trust the people you work with, it's also messed with your work ethic, right? Like you may have found yourself going full throttle at one point and then stopping. It's because you don't really trust yourself. And so Spirit is working on building that up. And then with the Emperor, and I'm going to say Emperor, I meant to say Empress and Emperor energy because both of those cards came out together. And we were talking about building a union. And then so Spirit is also talking about your own sexuality, the way you see yourself, the way you love on yourself, the way you love on others, the way you see others, the way you perceive others, and then the action in which that follows that, right? Because how you see yourself and transfers over to the behaviors that you have or the thoughts that you have. So this was kind of like working backwards. But Spirit wants you to take time to sit. Antennas, communication, I feel like I've already said it, Spirit. Yeah. So that is what I have for y'all. Thank you for tuning in. If you have been here with me, I want to say gratitude to your guides, gratitude to my guides, for this beautiful message. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really here for most of it. That was spirit channeling, so I'm gonna have to come back and watch it. I do suggest that you come back and watch and take notes. Oh, and thank you. I need to share the activity. So what you're going to do, these are my notes from today. And these are the questions that I asked. I asked, what areas of life do I need to focus on? What areas of spirit bring awareness to in my life at this time? What emotions do I need to release? And it was going to go in depth, but that was a channel message, and for spirit, they went off. So fears, people's behaviors. And then the journal activity that spirit has is where you're going to split the paper down the middle, and you're going to have on one side the word enhances, and on the other side you're going to have takes away. And these are people, these are behaviors, relationships, habits, ideas, emotions, thoughts, anything else that you can think of. Please remember that you can add to this list. This is not finite. This is just mine. I often edit as I go along. And then I'm just going to write them on the side. Now, when I'm done with my list, I am going to think about 3 to 5 things on the takeaway side that I am going to like really go ahead and push it out of my life. That's my area of focus. And on the enhances, I'm going to focus on 3 to 5 things that help improve my life and giving myself more of that. So if on the enhances side, the behavior I write is taking a bath, then I'm going to find more time for myself to take a bath. I hope that makes sense. Or, yeah. So, I hope that you enjoy your journal activity tonight. Be sure to head over to Instagram if you haven't. Again, gratitude to my guys, your guides, for delivering soundful messages and clear messages. And thank you to you for being here and supporting my channel. Please be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below if you feel called to, and subscribe to support the channel. I love y'all, and I'll see you later. Bye.